What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Claude Code. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so right here. Give us a thumbs up and tell us where you're watching from. Today, I've got another awesome Glow Getter interview with the one and only Kinsey. She is from Conway, Arkansas, where I grew up actually, and a mom of three who went from feeling lost, overwhelmed, felt like her health was a lost cause, to completely transforming her health, losing the weight, and building some really incredible muscle mass. I can't wait for you to see this lady's shoulders and biceps. And recently found the confidence to wear sleeveless tops again. Can't wait for you to listen to this story. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Cloud Code!
Hello, beautiful Kinsey.
Hey, Claude.
How are you?
I'm great. So happy to be here.
So happy to have you here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're a mom of three, to come here and enlighten us, inspire us, motivate us. Thank you.
You're welcome. My
Okay,
pleasure.
so let's start with, how about you tell the audience a little bit about who you are, your story, where you're from, what you do, all that.
Do we have all day? I'll try to condense it.
We got 45 minutes, young lady.
Yeah. So, my name is Kinsey. My husband and I live in Conway, Arkansas with our three beautiful children, ages 12, 9, and 7. So life is busy, but, no complaints at all. We own a residential construction company and are real estate investors as well. So, it's just ever evolving. And over the last, I guess, Claude and I have been working together for about 14, 15 months. And when I first reached out to her, I was just in a place where I needed to focus on me. I resonated with Claude's story, and she has shared it many a time, and I know will continue to share it, on just, how she dealt with health challenges, with postpartum. I'll never forget, it was March 23 when my husband, who knew Claude years ago, in college, he showed me a post on Instagram of Claude's, and just about her journey and about her story and the progress that she had made in her healing. And I sat there and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is speaking to me. Because I resonated with that story, with 3 kids, dealt with postpartum depression, and have, at the time when we connected, I was not dealing with that because our kids were older. But I saw, it's always nice to have a visual. So when you can see somebody doing the things that you want to do, or who have a similar story, it's like, okay, that's possible. There is hope. So I reached out to Claude after seeing that post, and I was just like, I'm in. Like, I knew that's what I needed. And so I guess that was like my first day was April 3rd, 2023.
Wow.
And, I haven't looked back since. It's been great.
And so at that time, by the way, I grew up in Conway, Arkansas, and didn't Elliot and I go to high school together?
I don't know that you went to high school together because he went to Greenbrier.
Okay.
But I think maybe you all had connected maybe through a high school program, and then in college as well. So, I've known of you for a long time because he followed you on social, and he would show me like videos of you and Noah dancing, and I love to dance, but I do not dance like you all. So, I mean, he would show me, he's like, look what they're doing, and isn't this so cool? And so I knew of you. And then when he showed me the post in March of 23, it was like, I got to see a totally different side than what I had seen. And, that was just, it was like, oh, wow, I might not be able to dance as spectacularly as she can, but, I definitely, felt a connection.
That's so awesome. And so
Yeah.
where were you like mentally, physically at the time that made you say, "Okay, I'm ready. I want to do this program."
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of take it back a little bit to 2020. At that time, Elliot and I decided that it would be best for me to leave my career in hospital administration and join him and his business ventures, and also be available for our kids, because at that time, and it was a crazy time for everybody. Schools, we didn't know what that was going to look like. At one point, both of our children were the daycare was closed, and they reopened and they closed again, and so it was like, well, we have businesses to run, we have kids, like, how are we going to manage this? And so that was a big transition for everyone involved in our family, in a positive way, but still very much, for me, kind of it really challenged my identity, because I had a job like on my own, of my own, since I was like, I mean, I started babysitting probably when I was like 12, but first like W2 job, at 14. So, I mean, that was really, really big, for me to be like, okay, I'm leaving, leaving corporate world, and transitioning to this new beautiful opportunity, but very different. So the first year, we were just so busy kind of like recalibrating. I didn't really have time to stop and assess like how I truly was feeling.
Mm.
But throughout that journey that allowed us to get to that point, I had really been working on personal development, and really just kind of working on mindset. And I had a friend introduce me to the 75 Hard program. And so spring of 21, I was like, you know what? I need this. Like, I need a challenge. I feel like I could benefit from this. So I did that. It was great. It was hard. And I have no regrets, but it took a lot to complete that. And I did the full 75 days, total compliance.
Wow.
Excuse me. So after that, it was summertime. Kids are busy, kids are home. Again, just like kind of like, I'm just serving here to serve everybody else. And then, they get back in school, fall of 21. And I felt like I just kind of went, because I'm like, okay, um, kids are back in school. I, still trying to kind of find my way, with this new career path, for lack of a better word. Um, and that continued. And it just was just like floundering. And so it wasn't until like February 23 when I was like, I have got to make a change. Like I was very depressed. I was very overweight. I was, eating when I was stressed, eating when I was happy, not moving my body. My sleep sucked. And I remember visiting my PCP, and she was like, because I was talking, my main concern was energy. I'm like, I cannot, I feel like I'm just like a walking zombie. And she's like, why don't we do a sleep study? And I was like, oh, what? Oh, what? Sleep study? And at that moment, I was like, no, that's not my answer. My answer is not, like, and she was trying to be proactive, and I greatly appreciate that. I mean, she wasn't like, here's some, here's some medicine to try to combat X, Y, and Z. But when she was like, sleep study, I'm like, I know this is not just about sleep. This is this is a whole different ballgame.
You could feel it. You
Oh,
knew
I
it.
could feel it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I've got to make a change. I also knew that movement and food would help me tremendously. I also knew that I didn't want to take the shortcut. I didn't want to take a shortcut. And at that time, I really don't think, I was trying to think back. I don't know that Ozempic and all of that was really like big at that time. So I don't even know that it was on my radar that that could have been an option. Although that's not anything I would have
Right.
tried. But I just knew, I was like, I need a natural way. I need to find something that's sustainable, that's natural, that's, really, I mean, it's going to require work, but that can be done. And I just knew it in my heart, like this, there is a way. And then when Elliot showed me your post, I was like, that's the way. So I know that was a very long
No,
answer
it's so
to
great.
your question, but I think, just life change, really trying to re-identify myself, that that was way more challenging than I thought, and it did impact my health, and it got to, and it took a long time. That was almost 2 years
Yeah.
of me just feeling like I'm stuck. I'm drowning. I need an answer, but
Well,
and you came
I
along.
love that you brought that up because this is not talked about nearly enough where these identity shifts, becoming a mom is a huge identity shift. And not a lot of people talk about like, how does that even come up? What does that look like when you're shedding an identity? And a lot of times it's feeling so unstable because you've been, that has been survival for so long, like for you and working and being part of corporate America. That was like your identity. It's what you knew. And
Mhm.
when you, in trying to like change that, it's, it's not easy and it's not overnight. And in the process, I think we do self sabotage and we do go through a phase of like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and there was a lot of shame, and that I felt too, because I was like, I have been given this beautiful opportunity. Um, why don't I feel better about that? Like, this is something I've dreamt of. I've dreamt of like having the flexibility and not having to sit behind a desk,
mm,
um, so there was like that guilt component too. It's like, snap out of it, Kinsey. Like, get your shit together. And I just couldn't. So, I think that that kind of takes me to something that has been pivotal for me, not only in this program, but even before, kind of, just through the personal development, is creating a strong mindset. And that's not something that I grew up like. Yes, I was encouraged and I had opportunity, and opportunity to grow and evolve and lead and all of those things. But I think I always, like, in the back of my mind, just had kind of a quitter mindset. Like, well, if this isn't going smoothly, I'm just going to quit. Or, you know, it just, nobody ever talked to me about, being resilient and being consistent and, doing hard things. And just because they're hard doesn't mean it's bad. And so, I think that um, that has been pivotal in me achieving the goals that I have, um, is just that mindset component.
I love that so much. And I think the reason why we go through moments of like depression and things being really hard and having to shed identities in order, it's like we have to build and show ourselves who we are and what we're capable of. Oh, look, I made it through that. And also like something really cool that you pointed out was you knew there was something out there. You knew that exercise, nutrition was going to help you. Like to me, that's the first step because you're basically saying a silent prayer every day without even knowing it. You're putting it out in the universe like, oh, okay, I know there's something. I know there's something. What is it? I don't know. And then boom, the answer comes. And I think it's important, like that first step of awareness is knowing
that there is something out there that is going to help you and work for you.
Most definitely.
As opposed to, I am forever ruined. I am a victim. There's nothing out there that works. Your thoughts literally create your reality. So what I love about what you said is, if anybody's out there thinking like it's hopeless, if you think you are victim to anything, right? Health-wise, a disease, this or that, switch that mindset around and know that you are capable of healing your body. Because I firmly believe like spirit is superior to body, right? The body is just
100%.
It's just reacting to us and what we put in it. That means there is a way for you to heal. So I'm just like so proud of you for knowing there was an answer. And then once the answer presented itself, you were like, okay, let's go. Did you have any doubts at all? Any fears come up?
You know, I mean, I think in the back of my mind, it was like, can I do this? It wasn't that I didn't trust you and, you know, the information and the plan that you were going to provide me. It was like, am I strong enough to do this? Am I consistent enough? Can I maintain consistency in order to see this through? And I think that's one thing that is so important and that has been a big revelation to me throughout this last year, because I think we have grown up being sold quick fix after quick fix after quick fix for everything in life. And, you know, you see it, let's build this body in 30 days and let's lose 50 pounds in, you know, 60 days. And, you know, and it, not even about weight loss, but everything, that instant gratification.
Yep.
And, you know, just surrendering to the plan and just taking it one day at a time. And every day you build a little bit more confidence and a little bit, you know, more self-respect and a little bit more faith that, yes, I can do this. And I, you know, I think kind of going back to that, the lie that we're sold, that quick fixes, they're going to work. Well, they're not sustainable. And what I want right now more than anything is sustainability, because I've done the fast and the furious. Has that gotten me anywhere? Maybe temporarily. Yeah.
Sure.
But like, I'm 43. Like, I'm tired. Like, I want to find a way, you know, I want to make sure that this is something that I can build upon, that I don't lose. Granted, you know, this process has not been linear. You know, it's been
Nope.
5 steps forward, 2 steps back, you know, 4 steps forward, 5 steps, you know, it's just, and that's another truth that I have, you know, I've come to realize too, that it's okay. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean that I'm not still making progress. This still can work, even on the days and the weeks or the months that it feels like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Have I lost it? You know,
Yeah.
but, you know, I think that knowing that I'm building a strong foundation versus just kind of throwing the Band-Aid on, you know, whatever it is, that goal, you know, whatever the goal is priceless.
Yeah. I mean, and it's kind of like you can spend the rest of your life, you know, putting, what's that stuff you put like when you slice your tire, and you put it in there to stop the air, like leak something.
Right.
And so all these little like quick fixes or, you know, whatever it is just like that little leak putty that you put in the tire. And at some point you have to learn, what is health? How do I choose health? What does it mean to live as a healthy woman and get the results that I want and be able to just live this way? And like, for me, I always say, like, you don't just do the program, you become the program, because you have to become a different version of you that's going to make different choices, have different habits for the rest of your life, not just, okay, 3 months, here we go. I'm going to like, no, you have to, you know, a lot of people say, Kinsey, it's not just about diet and exercise. And they're right. It's not. You think you come here to lose the weight, but what you get out of it is like a brand new elevated version of you.
Most definitely. I mean, you like truly are recreating your identity. If you choose to. I feel like that's what I have done. And, it's like you said, it's not only about, sorry, my dog is barking and I hope you can't hear it. It's not just about the nutrition and the movement. I not only invested in the group coaching program, but also the hormone reset course that you offered last summer. And that was so, it was eye-opening. There was a lot I already knew, but it was just, there were so many good nuggets, like so many great reminders that, it's not just about, the nutrition and the movement. It's about sleep. It's about knowing your body, your hormones and your cycle, and just the hacks. It's, you can try this and you can try that, and what's going to work for me isn't going to work for everybody else. But I feel like it's a journey of discovering who I am, how my body works, what I need physically, mentally, spiritually, that really just, it's transforming the whole package.
Yeah. And, you said something earlier about like trusting, and there really has to come a point, any woman who's listening out there, like there is so much information. There's this coach, there's that person, there's this person. And at some point you have to listen to your intuition and go, okay, well, who do I resonate with? What sounds and what sounds like it's supportive and aligns with me? And then you take the jump and you trust. And I made a reel about this the other day because I feel like a lot of women, we're very hard on ourselves. If our body doesn't do what we want it to do, we get mad at it. We're like, I don't know what's wrong. We immediately think something is wrong. And it's important to know nothing is wrong with you. We just don't trust our bodies. And when you choose to do a program or change your lifestyle, you gotta trust it. And it's gonna feel crazy at first because it's not, you're not used to it. It's, right. I'm sure you, like, for me, I don't know about you, but having to go to bed or making it non-negotiable to go to bed at 9 p.m. every night at first was weird because we're adults and literally we can choose whatever we want. And a lot of us don't know, well, what is the good choice? And I love that you said there were like these little hacks because there's a lot of mystery with female health and women's bodies and hormones and this and that. And if you just have a few tools, you can control your health, your hormones, your body, and not have it control you. Okay, so what would you say was the hardest part of, Kinsey, you've been with me like over a year now, but what was the hardest part when you started the program?
I think just the nutrition was transitioning from a standard American diet to an anti-inflammatory diet. That's hard. And it's hard with 3 kids who aren't necessarily eating everything that I'm eating, and having the discipline to say, okay, this is what I'm eating, and I'm going to choose not to eat what other people are eating. I think that initially was the hardest part. Just because it was such a big change. But again, you fall back on that consistency and it just becomes what you do. And you see the results. You see, I'm feeling better. I'm sleeping better. My energy's better. I'm losing weight. I feel like I can do more, I can lift more. And and I'm getting stronger. And, so you start to see the benefits of that discipline, which doesn't make it as hard. Granted, I don't know that I will ever, that I will ever not desire chocolate. Like that's just,
Sure.
I mean, there are things that are still, I think, I have cravings from time to time, but um, I know that way that, the way that I have been fueling my body is way more advantageous than what I was doing prior.
Absolutely. And, here's the thing at where you're at now with your body composition, the muscle mass you've built, the fat that you've lost, now your body can actually process some dark chocolate or, a piece of raw cheese where a year ago, when you started your journey, the inflammation is just raging in your body. Your gut is not healed. And it's important to remember, like, there's different phases to this shit. And when you start, you're in a healing phase. People are like, that's so restrictive. And oh my gosh, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's almost like a loss when you can't have the foods that you're used to having for so long in your life. However, it's a sacrifice to make 100% so that the body can like detox, reset, heal. Once you've done that, can you 10% of the time, you know what I say, 90-10, not 80-20, have some chocolate, like some good chocolate. Don't get the fucking Cadbury chocolate with soy lecithin and no, don't do that. But of course you can.
Yeah. And, and I think too, just even the discipline. So, not even the food component of what we were actually eating, but the discipline to travel and, know what to eat, how to eat, or even take my food with me. I did that a lot last summer. And I still do it. When I go to the airport, like, I take my food with me
I love
because there are no good options in the airport. And the thing is, it just minimizes so much stress to be able to be prepared.
Yep.
And so that's definitely a gift that I feel like I'm taking away, is that like I know how to handle this, or apply this to different situations that I find myself in. If there's going to be a day that I am away from the house, if at all possible, I will try to take my food. So I'm not, or I know which restaurants I can go to that have the protein, that have the veggies, and I feel like I'm at a point now, it's like, I have my few restaurants that I'll go to, and the others are just like, okay, well, that was fun while it lasted, but I know what my body needs.
Yeah. And ultimately it's, how do you want to treat your body? And I will never leave that in the hands of somebody else. I just will not. And being prepared and knowing how to navigate those situations, even just knowing what you should be putting in your body is like half the battle. Yes. But I love this analogy of like, you start to treat your body like a Lamborghini. And if somebody dropped off a Lamborghini at your house tomorrow, I want you to think how you would treat that car versus maybe like the Honda you have or have had in the past. It's a whole different ballgame, and you have to start looking at your body as a Lamborghini. And like, I'm not going to leave it up to the airplane food or the airport food or that party food, because if that fuel is not, an elite enough grade to come in this body, then it ain't going in.
Yeah. I mean, I still, like, in my closet with my suitcase, I have like travel bag of, like, I have a scale, I have a food scale, I have, sometimes I don't always have measuring cups in there, but sometimes I'll put measuring cups.
Yes.
I'll have my protein powder. I'll have some, beef sticks or olives or something, or nuts, just so that, like, if I'm in a pinch, it's, you know, it's not the end of the world.
Amazing. And and you guys, like, it all sounds so daunting when you start. Because again, it's not what you're used to doing. It's foreign. But once you do it for like a week or two or however long, it just becomes part of your life. It's like learning how to drive stick. In the beginning, you're like, what am I doing? I'm on a hill. Oh no. And then all of a sudden you're like fucking Mario Andretti, like drive. It's fine. It's the same thing. And at the end of the day, the women that come to me like Kinsey want to feel better and look better more than anything else, more than have the chocolate, more than enjoy this. And that you let nothing get in the way of like just reaching your goals, which you have done so beautifully. Right here, I'm going to flash a picture of your before and after, Kinsey, so everyone can see.
And it's surreal. Like it's, you know, it really has taken it. It's the baby steps that have allowed me to have faith that the best is yet to come, you know, that there can still be improvement. And, you know, I am closer today to my goals. And it's funny. So in college, I used to buy Muscle and Fitness Hers magazines and Oxygen magazines. And I literally would tear out, pictures of these girls because they weren't super skinny. You know, they were toned. You could see their muscles. Like they looked strong. They looked healthy. And I was like, I want that one day. Like I want to be like that. And, you know, I would try for the 30, 60, 90 days and then I'd fall off or, you know, whatever. Today, I feel like I'm closest to that I've ever been in my life. You know, I don't want to be skinny. And I talked to our daughter about that. Like, we want to be strong. We want to be healthy. We want to age well. You know, that's what's important to me. And I feel like, you know, taking the baby steps and trusting Claude or whoever that you resonate with to assist you in your journey, it's just going to snowball. Like, you know, your goals day one are going to differ from day 60, 90, you know, 6 months, a year. You know, I don't consider myself finished. You know, this is still an ongoing thing. And two, you know, your goals are going to change. Your body's needs are going to change. Your season, you know, like your lifestyle is going to change. So you're just going to, you're going to have patience. You're going to have flexibility, you know, obviously discipline, but also understanding that it's your day one is going to look very different from day 60, 90, whatever, you know, and onward, not just in physical appearance, but what your soul desires and believes in. You know, I think that that's something that has been very eye-opening to me too, because at 6 months with you, yes, I had made a tremendous amount of progress, but I was like, okay, I need a new challenge. So when you said, hey, I'm going to run a half marathon, I'm like, well, okay, I guess I will too. So I'm like, I'm not a runner, I think I need that challenge, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, I actually, when I first said yes to you, in the back of my mind, I was like, I really don't know if I can do this. I'm going to give it my all. I will give it my all and I will. But I had dealt with migraines. Like I would run and then I'd get migraines. And I'm like, if I can figure out how to deal with my migraines, then I'm set. Like I know I will train. And it really, I think, had come down to really just like electrolytes and hydrating, not just with water, but using the electrolytes to hydrate. That allowed me to, you know, see my training through. I wasn't getting as many migraines, and I ended up doing that, you know.
Crushed it. And like, that's the thing is, you would have never had that accomplishment or the urge to do that had you not taken that first decision. Like
Right.
I always say, you're one decision away from really changing your whole life, because one decision in the right direction is going to is going to propel you into more good decisions. And you don't know what is available to you until you get there. So you got to
Right.
get there. You got to put it in first gear and just, I say, blind faith, like surrender, trust God, and be like, okay, cool, I'm doing this. And that single decision is going to pop off this opportunity, that opportunity. People really, I think, underestimate the growth that happens in us as women when we choose our health. It's like, I chose my health 3.5 years ago, and I 4x'd my income with my business in 2 months. I went from being totally broke, living with my parents, being depressed, anxious, 40 pounds overweight. One health decision changed my whole life around. I bought a house like 2 months later. And I love to bring you guys on, my clients like Kinsey, because it's not, I don't want people to just hear my story. I want them to hear your story and how you've transformed your life. And so what would you say is like, I know you said mindset earlier, Kinsey. Would you say that that is like the biggest win or the biggest transformation you've experienced since starting this?
Definitely a huge win. I think that, you know, having the Glow Getter community, has been invaluable as well. Just being able to come back to those weekly calls. I could listen to it all week. I could listen to them over and over throughout the week. But just knowing, even if we aren't talking to one another on a daily basis, like knowing I'm going to see that face on Saturday, and I'm going to hear this message on Saturday. And even if it's somebody's asking a question that I already know the answer to, it's still a great reminder. It's still like, okay, let's stay in your lane. Let's get back on track. You're doing the right thing. That's been huge. I think that, just even like I mentioned earlier, getting to know my body, getting to know, just tuning in to what I need, not what Claude needs, not what another glow getter needs, what I need to be successful and to continue being consistent and disciplined. That I really feel like it's probably the greatest tool, along with the mindset that is going to allow me to continue on this journey successfully. Not saying that I have all the answers, not saying that I know everything about what my body needs, but I'm way much, so much further along than when I started.
Yeah. And I don't think I still don't know everything my body needs. I still am presented with different problems that I am so grateful for, because as I solve them, then I'm more able to help other women solve them too. And that's the whole point, is to just be on a journey of constant self-love and making choices that are self-loving, self-respecting. I don't think there really is there's no end goal. We're just working at being better every day and making better
Most
choices.
definitely.
I think just accepting that this is a lifetime commitment. Like, this is a lifetime pursuit. Just throw the idea of a temporary quick fix out the door. Like, it's not going to get you anywhere.
No. And I love that you brought up the community too, because, nobody gets here alone. I hear so many women like, I'll try to figure it out on my own. And I'm looking it up on YouTube. Like, women need a tribe. This can be we already feel alone and alienated with mom duties and this and that. Get the support that you actually like deserve and need. And like, I need those Saturday calls with you guys.
And I think too, it's, that along with, the weekly check-ins, it's just a reminder that you're not alone in the journey. You're not the only one who has struggles. And so, like I said, even if you aren't, communicating one-on-one with the ladies, just being able to see that and just have that reminder is very powerful.
Yeah. And I will say, Kinsey has made almost every single Saturday call. And this is a huge part of the journey, is putting yourself first, making that time for you. Like, I am worthy. I deserve this time for me. I'm pretty sure you've made it to every single check-in on Facebook. I mean, maybe like minus a couple, but when you want it, you want it. And you find reasons to continue to show up for yourself, not excuses not to. And so, Kinsey, I'm so proud of you, and thank you for making me look good, and
Well, it's been a true honor, and it's just still surreal that, we're getting to have this conversation, because when I started, I didn't really have any expectations other than, yes, progress, but I didn't know what I could envision. And it is very exciting, very humbling that I do get to talk to you today about, kind of being on, I don't want to say the other side, but like, gosh, yeah, I mean, it brings tears to my eyes when I think about it. So thank you. Thank you, Cara. Thank you, Glow Getters. I mean, it's just, it does take a village, and I'm forever grateful.
thank you. I'm forever grateful for you and the light and the possibilities that you bring to women around you, to the Glow Getters. I know a lot of them look up to you. Like, when women start, they're like, oh my God, Kinsey is so inspiring. And, to all the women out there, I want you to be your own inspiration too. And you can. And Kinsey said she didn't know what to expect. And that's the thing, is we can predict the future as good as we can because over it. Right? So like, the future can be whatever you say it is. You say, okay, I'm going to lose these 30 pounds. And there you go. You've predicted your outcome. But you have to show up every day and make choices that align with that future, which is exactly what Kinsey did. Any last words you'd like to say to any woman out there who's struggling, who has doubts, fears, doesn't know where to go? What would you say to her?
I would remind her that she's worthy of probably more than she can even dream. And that it does just take that first step. And then the next day it takes another step and another step. And just, I feel like a broken record when it comes to me saying it's all about consistency, not about perfection. It is about consistency. And that consistency will then turn into self-confidence, because you're showing up for yourself. It's going to show up in the form of self-respect. And from there, it's just going to snowball. I really, like I said, I feel like a broken record, but I couldn't put more value in consistency.
Agreed. Just every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I choose me. I choose me.
Yeah.
I choose my health. And it gets easier. Then there's a moment where shit gets hard again.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally part of it.
One thing I have noticed, and it hit me a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. I used to really enjoy, on the weekends, primarily, laying in bed and, just having like a slow morning. I've gotten to the point now, it's like, I got to get up and get to the gym, or I got to get up and move my body. Like that's what my body craves. That's my coffee. I don't drink as much coffee. I don't drink very much coffee. I do here and there, but I mean, like, getting up, getting the sunlight, moving my body. It is a game changer. And, I'm like, wow, like, laying in bed, and I've tried it, laying in bed and just vegging out, reading, and I'm like, I feel like absolute, I do not feel good.
Yeah.
Starting my day that way. Now, I might slip in a nap at some point. I'm not against a nap, but starting my day, it has been, it's been interesting to see that evolution.
I love that. And a lot of women are out there wondering why, where's my energy? And you guys, it's very, very simple to get it back, to feel good. There's like 5 major key points we have to have in place. Stop going to your doctor, asking them for help. They don't know. And one of those key points is sunlight, like Kinsey said, getting up. And when you are excited and invigorated about your life, when you're proud of yourself and you are excited to wake up, like, oh God, another day. And that's priceless. I would pay millions for that feeling.
Yeah. I get to start my day going to the gym and saying, can I lift heavier today than I did yesterday? Although, I mean, it's not an everyday thing, but yeah, I do have to celebrate. So before I started with you, I avoided sleeveless tops at all costs. Like I would not wear a sleeveless top at all. I really wouldn't even wear shorts or skirts. And I know you can't really see, but I have a sleeveless top on that can show my muscles.
Look at that bicep and that shoulder.
So anyway, that's a huge win. Like being able to just feel good and clothing that I would not normally have worn. That has been priceless too.
Priceless. And every woman out there deserves to feel that good and that pride. Like, come on. But you gotta earn it.
Yeah. You cannot buy it. I mean, I guess
well,
but I know you cannot buy muscle. You cannot buy muscle. You can buy fat loss, but you can't buy muscle.
No, you can buy injections and fake boobs and all of that. But I always say that, like, my glow getters, like you, everyone who's here, me, like, we set the standard. The standard has been fucked. Like, we're looking at women that I don't know what kind of treatments they undergo or drugs they take. That's not the standard. We're looking at these skinny ass women, and you're right. Like, we should not be teaching our daughters this. We should be teaching our daughters health and strength. And women like you guys are the standard. You're the standard of what women should be choosing themselves in their health every day, and strength, and that fucking bicep.
It's something I'm so proud of. And then, like I shared on a call recently, I'm like, oh, I see this little vein in my arm or my collarbone or whatever. And I'm like, finding those little things. It's not always about the scale, because I also shared at one point recently that I did an in-body scan, and that's something I've used, although I know it's not 100% accurate. That is something I have used to kind of track some numbers for my journey. And although my weight had not changed, my percent body fat decreased and my muscle increased. So, that also is a huge win, so finding those little things along your journey to celebrate, it helps with the motivation.
Absolutely. And action creates motivation. So don't wait for motivation to like somehow magically sprinkle its fairy dust on you. And you're like, yeah, I feel motivated. Just do the action. And that's what propels the motivation. So Kinsey, you are amazing. I am blessed to have you as a client. And thank you for coming on and sharing your beautiful story and inspiring women today. I appreciate you.
It's all my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And you guys, make sure that you follow Kinsey on Instagram. I've listed it in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.